Should I or should I not transfer from the university I've been called to? Question you're asking yourself since you were here, right? Before you make that life changing decision, I'd like you to consider some factors. Which factors am I talking about? These are the factors that are likely to work in your favor or against your transfer decisions. 4 years ago, I found myself in the same predicament you're currently in. I was faced with the hard task of deciding whether to go to the university I was called to or transfer to the one that I believed would help me achieve my goals. In case you're wondering which university I was called to, it was Masinde Muliro University, the main campus being located at, I think it's Kakamega, right? Yeah, I think Kakamega town. I felt like, to me, I felt like that upcountry university was not going to work for me. I needed to experience that fast life of the big city, and that could only happen if only I was to transfer to a university which was within one of the big towns, and the main goal was to find myself in Nairobi. Yeah, and so I had different options. There was UON, JQuat, KU, MMU, but the course of my choice, which is mass communication, their cluster points were a bit higher in those universities, so public universities. So here's a situation where I could not transfer to the public universities because their cluster points were above, or I was below the cluster points which they were offering for the specific course I wanted to do in those universities. What was I left with? I was left with private universities to pick one which had a course of my choice and in which I felt like I'd actualized my goals, because I also had goals and dreams. So the moment never lived. It's a decision that took me a while to decide. I did a background check on various universities that were offering mass communication, and it happened that I came across one which had a brilliant website. So everything in that website was glamorous and so professional, international, so to speak. So I opted for that, a decision that I've never lived to regret, right? So I wanted city life that I could access. Why maybe you're asking, why did I want so much a city life? Or why was I so much interested in getting a city life? I wanted a city life so that I could access opportunities. City life was going to give me a platform to grow financially while still studying. I thought I would probably work for Citizen TV before even graduating. Shock on me. Long story short, I'm satisfied with what city life gave me. Not that there were no challenges, but at least I have been hardened with those challenges or by those challenges. Now, KUCCPS gives us specific reasons for transfer, which are usually limited to three. I think 3 to 4 reasons. Reason one being financial reasons. Reason two being health reasons, sickness or disease, some kind of thing. Reason three being course of your choice. So if you're financially unable to pay for that university, or if you are having health issues that will hinder you from attending that university, or in case they've given you a course that is not of your choice, you will be allowed to transfer to a different university. Now, I think they should also kind of add na kama ujiski reason as well, because sometimes we just transfer because hatujiski kuenda hiyo university, right? Now, what factors should you consider as an individual now that the KUCCPS have given you the reason? Now, let me just break it down for you. For you who is still confused in terms of financially, what do they mean by finance? Like, let me tell you for a fact, finance is just a huge thing to not to consider. Like if you don't consider it, man, you're done. Because while deciding this transfer, you are offered, like every university has like their own different fee statement and how do you call it, fee structure. So you probably need to like check their fee structure if it's something attainable to for your family, or it's something that your family will really struggle to pay, because you may end up dropping out along the way. Because one thing, if you think it's a joke, the same piece of paper that is being offered cheaply in public university can as well be offered for a huge sum of amount in a private university. So if you are not financially well off back home, you'd probably strictly go for a public university, because even if you're government sponsored, these private universities really know how to suck money out of you, and they'll drain you literally. So if you are planning on transferring to a private university and you initially called to a public university, I'd highly advise you to check on the financial repercussion that will attract. And if you're probably a government sponsored student and you've been called to a private university and you're thinking of transferring to a public university, man, if it's financial reasons, you should transfer to a public university right away, because I don't want you to drop out along the way because of financial reasons. And it's something you could have avoided. Health reasons, man, if you are a sickly person, mtu mwenye if you're weak, you know your health is not that strong, I'd advise you to look for a university that is close to home, or whose proximity is close to a relative or someone who can take care of you. Because you're going to a place where nobody's going to take care of you, nobody's going to look after you, because you are now a grown up. People will be going for parties and stuff. Nobody will be like on the lookout for what you're doing, or whether you're well or you're not well, whether you've eaten or you've not eaten. It will be upon your family to do that. Now, if you are somebody who has been sickling or who has been battling with a certain disease, tumor or something of the sort, just look for a university that is close to your place or close to your home. Yeah, because that could be a good reason to transfer. The other thing would be course, man. Hey, hapa ndio watu mess, because you've been called to do law in a prestigious university, and you don't feel the vibe ya law, but juu ni a certain huge course na title ni kubwa, you attend that university, you want to do law or medicine, so to speak, and initially deep down you're not passionate about that course. It's not the course that you wanted to do or pursue as an individual, but at the same time you just want to do it because Niriang. No, don't do it if you're not passionate about it, because you'll find yourself each and every academic year you are changing courses because umelemewa. If the course you've been called to is not what you want to do as an individual, kindly transfer or change the course within that institution that you've been called to. The other thing that is a bit controversial is the time frame. Na venye tunajua vizuri watu wa Moi University hawamalizangi shule or they don't graduate because of mambo ya strike and stuff, which is likely to affect majority of public universities per se. So for private universities, they are likely to more of finish shule mapema before the public university guys, because their studies are not interrupted, except for the other time when Corona happened, which affected the entire universities, regardless of public or private. So if you've been called to a private university and you'd like to finish your course on time, I'd advise you not to transfer to a public university. And if you've been called to a public university and you'd like to maliza course yako mapema and maybe start another course, kindly do transfer to a private university. Skills and expertise. Let's just leave it at on when we talk about skills or the level of expertise that you'll be equipped with in a private university, it's top notch. So if you are also, or even in terms of courses, I think there are universities that are really known to like offer the best course in this area, like offer the best services in a certain or in a specific course. So just do a thorough background. If you you've been called to pursue law, hebu angalia which university can best offer that, as in kuna universities zenye zinajulikana for medicine and stuff, and kuna universities zenye ziko well known for that specific course unataka kufanya. So you'd probably check that out and decide which one is the best one that you want to pick for your course. And last but not least, and which is important as per the current affairs, like the experience you are likely to get from those universities or from those different universities. Man, public university are full and rich of experiences, and they give you a room to explore and develop yourself as an individual. So if you want to experience life to the fullest and to develop individually in terms of how to manage yourself in all aspects, I'd advise you to stick to a public university, because that's where you'd like get that experience that you're looking for, be it being in control of situation, be it venturing into different businesses, or like growing your brand as an individual, as an artist and stuff. I'm not saying that those things cannot happen in a private universities. They can happen, but in most cases we usually see that people in public universities are able to like experience their campus life in a more diverse, in a more wholesome, in a more all-rounded kind of way. So if you are looking for that campus experience, kindly go to public universities. Even as we bring this show to a close, if you think there is a factor that I've left out, kindly put it down on the comment section. I'm glad you guys have qualified to join university. Just know it's the beginning of another phase of life. Thank you. Peace out. I'm your boy AJ. Okay.